Now then, ladies and gentlemen, it is not often I envy a government minister. I often equate the job, especially the role of finance minister, as having one ice cream and two 7-year-olds. He's certainly been busy lately, mainly in his capacity as Minister for Sport. He was with the netballers during the week leading up to their World Cup triumph. His series of tweets, I have to say, during the rollercoaster World Cup cricket semi-final against India, they were an exercise in the creative use of language as well as brevity. And then he was lucky enough to be at the World Cup cricket final in London playing England. I've seen a lot of cricket over the last 50 years. I've been at a lot of games as well as a broadcaster, but I've never seen a game like that one. Perhaps we actually one day need a politician to tell us how we might not have won a final, but we didn't lose it either. So he was to come and speak to us today in person, but I'm afraid events have conspired against us. However, Grant Robertson has sent this video message.
Kia ora, Grant Robertson here, Minister of Finance. I'm really sorry that I can't be with you today. Unfortunately, I need to stay in Wellington to attend the tangi of a person that I greatly respect and who has unfortunately passed away. I know, however, that you're going to be really well looked after because my colleague, the Honourable Damien O'Connor, will be with you, and I'm sure Damien will have a lot to say about the way the government is working with the horticulture sector, but the rural communities more generally. From my perspective, what I was going to be talking to you about today in particular was our Wellbeing budget. We're extremely proud of this budget because we think for the first time we've included consideration of New Zealanders' wellbeing at every stage of our budget process. So in setting our budget priorities, we looked at the interventions we could make that would have the longest term impact on New Zealand. That is for the people of New Zealand, but also for our environment, for our financial, our well-being and health, and for the strength of our people and our communities. We also are now assessing ourselves against a much wider set of indicators. So we're still assessing ourselves against the important indicators of having a growing economy, which we've got, of keeping debt low, of unemployment, which is also at an historic low. But we've added to those more traditional economic indicators, looking at indicators of natural capital, human capital and social capital. In other words, the health and well-being of our environment, our people and our communities. So you can go onto the Treasury's website, take a look at the Living Standards Framework, which has all of this in it, including the indicators, and take a look at the budget where you'll see that we've done a wellbeing outlook for New Zealand. And we'll do that every year so that you can see what progress we're making against the indicators that have been set within that Treasury framework. So we used all of that to put together a budget that focused on the big long-term challenges that New Zealand needs to address. And the first of those that I want to mention is mental health. We all know that mental health is an enormous issue throughout our communities, and I particularly want to acknowledge that it's an issue in our rural communities. We've recognised that within a big funding package that has funding available for specific targeted services and programs for mental health issues in our rural communities. We believe that this is going to make a significant difference. It will take time to roll out as we train the workforce, but this is a long-term commitment from the government. More broadly, there's money in the budget for rural health services generally, with a specific recognition that we've got to make sure that wherever you are in New Zealand, you can get access to services. That also includes telehealth services as well, which I know are a growing part of how rural people are accessing health services. In addition to that, another priority in the budget that's worth noting is a big focus around sustainable land use. So we've got a $229 million package that's actually about working alongside those in the agriculture and horticulture sectors to make sure that you are able to make the most of the environment that you work in whilst protecting it for future generations. So that ranges from more on-farm services that work directly with growers to make sure that you can meet environmental obligations, but also find the opportunities to be able to further develop your businesses. Sitting alongside that and supporting that is a huge investment in skills and training and how we build a productive workforce. And just today, my colleague Chris Hipkins is going to be making some announcements about our investment in vocational education and training. We really want an industry-led focus here, making sure that we're supporting you to have the people in your industry and horticulture who are going to provide you with the skills that you need. Alongside that is an investment in new technologies and making sure that research and development goes towards promoting the productivity of all industries. And so there's a big investment in the budget around that as well. So look, we're really proud of the Wellbeing budget. We think it's something that New Zealanders are going to see over the years the benefits from. It's a mixture and a balance of making sure we grow the economy, we grow prosperity, but at the same time we look after developing our people and our environment and our communities. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a great conference, and make sure you give Damien a hard time.